Hi everyone, I'm Dan. Welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. Today we are going to take a very quick look at the new DC Superpower Retro Card Sinestro figure in the Sinestro Corps uniform. I'm going to open them up, share some quick thoughts about it, and maybe compare them with a few other figures.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
Alright, so just looking at Sinestro first, here's a shot of his packaging, and the entire package isn't on camera right now, but if I bring it a little closer, really all you're missing is the Sinestro and the DC logo, and that these are meant for people 12 and over, I suppose, maybe because of the small pieces, but it's Sinestro in his package. Part of me almost hates to open these because I do like the retro style packaging. I've never been someone who keeps his stuff in package, but I wouldn't mind having the option to put these back in the package if I wanted to display them like that. But I'm going to open it up. Just to flip it around on the back real quick, we do have Sinestro's bio. We have a shot of all the figures that are currently out in this vintage retro card, the Superpowers collection, as well as some vehicles. I only buy Green Lantern stuff in this line, so I only have 3 characters right now, 4 counting Sinestro, 5 soon, because Kilowog is on his way as of this video. But I'm just going to crack open Sinestro, and it almost pains me to do it, but just going to rip it right open. There we go. I can always save the card back. I didn't really make that big of a mess of it. I miss when packages were kind of easy to open. So, let's get Sinestro out. He comes, of course, with the yellow lantern and the figure himself. There we go. Here is Sinestro looking very sinister. I've always loved his head sculpt, or his face really, but the head sculpt looks really nice on this figure. He's even got the pointy ears. That is a nice touch. So the figure just looking really good all around. Of course, his hair painted all over his head. Looks pretty neat. His articulation. Actually, let's keep looking at the figure because we do have the Sinestro Corps logo here on his chest. Looking very nice, nicely detailed. The yellow in the costume, I don't see any paint marks on mine. It all matches very well. This is all painted. It's not sculpted, these lines. So there is that. The belt looks a little uneven at the back where I guess 2 halves meet. And it sits okay in the front, I'll say that. The hand, of course, we have one hand here to hold the lantern. We have the ring sculpted on the left hand. So that looks pretty cool. It is definitely, popping out there. Nice sculpting on the wrist bracers as well. Moving down, legs are just black with gold boots. Nothing much to write home about, of course. We have the toy stamping stuff here in both the insides of the legs, but not terrible looking. So articulation, 5 or 7 points of articulation, I guess. 1 point being the head. 2 more points being the arms. They do a full 360. Of course, it does break up the look of the costume, but with something sculpted this simply, I don't really know what you expect. So that's 3 points of articulation, 5 being the 2 legs that can go forward this far, and they can go back this far as well. And then the 7th point of articulation is the bendable knees. Always nice. I'm a big Secret Wars, Mattel Secret Wars, Marvel Secret Wars fan. These always kind of had a step above them because they had bendable knees. I will admit that. I was never big on the action feature stuff, but there is that. So here is Sinestro. I'm going to move the camera down just a little bit so he's in the shot a little better. If you want to have him hold the lantern, you can just put it into his hand. I find that with these figures, it's better to put one of the smaller pieces in and then slide the larger handle into the hand. And it is a good fit. Like, you can just kind of have it here at his side. You can raise it up. It kind of sits at an angle if you raise it up. So I'm mostly just going to do, holding it down at the side. To quickly compare him to the other Sinestro figure that has come out in this line. Here we go. This is, of course, the original look for Sinestro. But there are some very big differences. First off, not at all the same style costume. Elements of the original are in the new one, but not as many as you might think. The belt is there. Turning the other around, the belt, yeah, is still like the belt coming together there. A little cleaner on my classic one, I will say. But everything else, the wrist guards match up. in terms of sculpting. So really just the same body with different paint apps on it. Looking at the rings real quick, let's get them right up here. They yeah, that's the same mold right there. I believe they are. I don't know. Looking at them, I suppose they are. Yeah, it'd be weird if they had different hands, I guess, considering that the arms are the same. Looking at the two heads up close, are they different heads? Because the hair seems like it goes a little deeper on this one, on the classic one. I'm trying to feel if it's sculpted as much. The ears are just as pointed, although this ear looks like has more of like a hole in it, like a deeper ear, if that makes sense. I'm not looking at them from the side. I feel like they are the same head, just different slightly different paint applications. Very close, if definitely not the same. So let's get them back in focus here. There we go. Look pretty good together overall. If you wanted to display two Sinestros like I'm about to, I do think they look pretty good. We can also compare Sinestro to the first Green Lantern that came out in this series, which is the John Stewart Green Lantern. They look good together. And we can get Hal Jordan in here as well. Here is Hal. There we go. Sinestro a little bit taller than Hal Jordan, I gotta say. A little bit surprised by that. I'm just gonna bring the camera up a little bit. So yeah, they look very good together. If you want to display this Sinestro as a current Sinestro, really with any Green Lantern, I think the look is going to work very well. Especially with this Hal, because he doesn't have like that classic kind of gray stripe in his hair. This is definitely a more modern Hal Jordan. So there we go. Not a whole lot to say about this figure. He looks cool. It is very simple, retro style articulation. Looks neat. Nothing too much to write home about. You're not going to get any crazy in-depth action poses or anything. But he is still a fun figure. I actually had made the decision this year to sell off my DC-UC figures. I just kind of decided it was time to move on, but I wanted to still have something represented in my collection of DC characters, especially Green Lantern characters. So this is a good way to go. These are fun. These are neat. Now I will say this Sinestro in particular, I had to get off CMD store because I think he was only part of. You couldn't buy him separately, like on Amazon and stuff. You had to buy the whole wave, especially on McFarlane Toy Store. So CMD store had him separately, single carded. That's where I got him from. And I really do think he looks really cool. So I'm hoping that we get more Green Lantern characters. I know Kilowog is coming out, and Guy Gardner is rumored. I don't think we've seen him yet, but his name has popped up in listings. I'm looking forward to that. I really hope we keep getting other Lanterns. I'll take other characters and other Lantern designs. I'm sure eventually they'll repaint a Batman or a Superman or a Flash into other Lanterns. And I'll probably pick them up just to expand my Lantern display. But let me know what you thought of this figure, if you are picking him up, if you are a DC Superpowers, retro card Superpowers enthusiast. I'd love to know your thoughts about this. And until next time, I've been Dan, you've been pretty awesome. I'll see you around. Well, there we go. What did you think of this video? Sound off in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Remember, we are making a push to get to 700 subscribers here on the channel. If we do that before the HasLab Giant Man arrives, I will be giving away the old Toy Biz Giant Man Build-A-Figure that you've seen on my shelf and things like that. So hit subscribe, leave a comment, hit like if you're so inclined, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Come geek